Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome or welcome back to the show. You're with Friday Night Livestream. I'm the Diva Views, back at it again. And here we have Mr. David Simonism. Say hi to the people out there.
Oh man, fuck that bitch ass nigga.
Okay. Also in the corner, we have Mr. Don Juan the Mac. He's with us.
Hey, hello, everyone. Hello, welcome.
So
Man,
we thank you so much for tuning in on all the socials. We've got Facebook, Twitch, our viewers on YouTube, checking out the replay. We appreciate you so much. Also keep in mind that this is a call-in live stream show, so you're more than welcome to participate in the discussion. Don Juan, unfortunately, we're opening up on some very tough news.
oh man, this one hurts me hard, Diva. And I tell you, Dave, you know what I'm saying? I think Dave, you said it best in the green room. It's just one of those days, man, where saying if there is such thing as vibranium, we gonna need it tonight.
With heavy hearts that we have to pass on to anyone that hasn't heard by now. Social media moves fast, but not for everybody. That Mr. Chadwick Boseman, T'Challa, Black Panther, has passed away as of 30 minutes ago in Los Angeles on this date, August 28th, 2020. We want to tell him to rest in power. The official statement was released on Twitter by his representative, and I'm going to read it out for you now. We did verify sources, and this is not a hoax. This is real. It is with immeasurable grief that we confirm the passing of Chadwick Boseman. Chadwick was diagnosed with stage 3 colon cancer in 2016 and battled with it these last 4 years as it progressed to stage 4. A true fighter, Chadwick persevered through it all and brought you many of the films you have come to love so much. From Marshall to The Five Bloods, August Wilson's Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, and several more. They all were filmed during and between countless surgeries and chemotherapy. It was the honor of his career to bring King T'Challa to life in Black Panther. He died in his home with his wife and family by his side. The family thanks you for your love and prayers and asks that you continue to respect their privacy during this difficult time. Unfortunately, it was not something that he discussed, Juan, and it makes it more of a shock.
And more all the more heartbreaking, to be honest with you. But it just goes to show, you just never know, and it's just always a good time to self-reflect with all that's going on in the world. You never know.
That's why we've been saying for the past year, 2 years, give people their flowers while they're here. Chadwick definitely got his flowers. He had millions of fans. He had great admirers and followers. He was King T'Challa. And we want to make sure that everybody understands that we're mourning not a character. We are mourning this great actor. He brought a lot of characters to life. He was in 21 Bridges. He was in Get On Up. And he played Jackie Robinson. Today, apparently, in baseball, Dave, is Jackie Robinson Day. I don't know if you follow baseball.
Somewhat, yes.
And apparently that's it. His passing has coincided with the legendary Brooklyn Dodger that he played in number 42. And it says here that he is survived by his brother Kevin, a dancer and singer, and his brother Derek, a preacher. I'm not sure if he has predeceased his parents. I'm sure they would be suffering as that was the case. He was 43 years old. Definitely too young. That's as old as, my baby sister's about to be this year. So I can't imagine what anybody in our age group is going through. And Juan, I know your favorite thing to mention. Where did he matriculate from?
Of course. He's a Howard alum. I am one of those guys who used to speak at Howard University, and just as his success has caught me by surprise, I tell you, Diva, so too has this passing.
With everything else that we're reckoning with right now, when Juan was first telling me before we came on the air to talk to you guys, if you're just joining us, we're discussing the passing of Mr. Chadwick Boseman at the age of 43 from stage 4 colon cancer. I said stop playing, because you can't take anything for granted in 2020 because the internet is crazy. You don't know who's saying what to who. You don't know what rumors are being passed around. And we've had so much taken from us already, and the week has already been crazy. That's a whole other show that I've done before, talking about who's killing us and why why we keep getting killed. Now this. And I definitely did my Florida Evans. I was like, damn.
Yeah,
I can't. Bethsaida, we're with you. Jojo, thank you for tuning in. Ladies and gentlemen, Wakanda forever.
Yeah, yes. Rest in peace to Chad Boseman. You know what I'm saying? A true hero to me and all my fellow alumni from the great Howard University.
Mr. David Simonism did make a good point, even though I'm not in the headspace to receive it right now. David, why don't you let the audience know what your pearl of wisdom was?
I'm sorry, I thought you was going to repeat it. I don't remember.
No, I don't want to paraphrase or mess it up.
What did I say?
He loves to hear his own words back to him.
Death is the ultimate achievement, and he's the lucky one.
Yeah.
Okay, and that is true.
There's always two sides to a coin, is what I tell my children.
Hey, bottom line is we all, in the words of Rone, R-O-N-E, one of the featured artists on our guest tonight, 350 Night Train 357 song. What is it? Say what? He says, everybody dies in this movie. There'll be no sequel.
I mean, I just can't. I'm not in the right headspace. We do have a great guest that's going to be joining us in just a few minutes after we do our usual format of getting through the anniversary and birthdays. But folks, we just wanted to pass that news on to you again. If you're just coming in, welcome back to Friday Night Live with HipHopCitizen. Unfortunately, we are discussing the passing of actor and king of Wakanda, who played the character Chadwick Boseman. But we are going to get on with the show, you guys. If you want to call in and discuss it, if you want to talk about Chadwick or anything else that's happening in hip hop news this week, we will post the link. We're streaming on Facebook, Twitch. If you're joining us on Twitch, we're always happy to see you. Make sure you give us a follow and subscribe. And if you're following us on all social media, make sure you continue to do so. I am Diva Views. You're looking at David Simonism and Don Juan the Mac. We do want to give our best to one of our brothers that's down right now. A sandwich or some bad chili got him, Mr. Architect 7. We hope you tum feels better. And Mr. Dialect 7 taking some time to himself. Self-care is important.
Yeah. Shout out to Dialect 718 and Architect 7, man. Godspeed. And also to you, Diva. And I think I speak for Dave, man. Welcome back.
I needed some time. To get in my headspace too. I was helping a friend and then just took some self-care as well, but it's good to be back on the air and see everybody in the chat again. The usual suspects are coming in, so we're happy to see you. And I think we're going to have a good interview tonight. You guys are looking forward to the guest, and I'm sure everybody else is too. We've got him waiting in the green room with the blueberry punch. I think Juan left him a couple of cups. Before we go ahead and get him in here, though, I hope he doesn't mind if we acknowledge some hip-hop anniversaries and birthdays. So, Mr. David Simonism, what have you got for us tonight?
I'm sorry, Juan?
Oh, yeah. Well, I was just going to say, I'll add them up on there. I got a oldie but goodie for you guys. Do any of you remember that? I don't remember the sweaty, stinky dude, but, you know.
Not stinky. Respect it.
Mama said knock you out. LL Cool J. Going back to August 27th. This is Hip Hop Anniversary this week, of course, but this one goes back to August 27th, 1990. Yeah,
now, should we call it a comeback? Was it a comeback in anyone's estimation?
I think it was in 1990. You know, I think that was his plateau, I believe. But hey, you know, between Brooklyn's own Diamond Simonism and Dialect 718, you know, who am I?
Well, I think it was a continuation of what he had already established in the 1980s. Excuse me. Wow. And
everybody say bless you in the chat.
Oh yeah.
This was LL's peak, a plateau, as Don Juan puts it. But he still continued after that. I think he didn't really plateau until the late 90s. So, you know, as a rapper.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I remember, this is around somewhere thereafter. It was about the time that cannabis came on the scene, and cannabis killed them for me.
I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah, pull back. Sherry T, we see you. And John Hart, yes, sir. Rest in peace to King T'Challa right there. Who else have we got?
Oh yeah. So Biz Markie, I need a haircut. This was his third album. Obviously called "I Need a Haircut," 1991.
Shout out to Biz Markie. He's been having his own little health issues.
Yeah.
Oh, has he?
Yeah, 2020, man, it hasn't been good for many of us.
2020 needs to slow down. Stop taking from us so hard.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Also, in the I guess we're doing anniversaries, right?
Believe so.
Doing the anniversary here.
Okay, we got August 21st. MIA released Kala, 2007.
Okay.
Juvenile released Project English in 2001.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's see. Chino XL released I Told You So in 2001 on August 21st. August 21st, also Talib Kweli released Eardrum in 2007. Kendrick Lamar brings platinum to Compton in 2013 on August 21st, 2013. I already mentioned that. Nat Turner, Rebellion, 1831, and August 21st. Let's not forget that. Swiss Beats released a one-man band in 2007 on August 21st. Pumpkinhead. Are we doing Pumpkinhead release?
I don't know. Does he count?
I guess we're going to say Pumpkinhead released Orange Moon Over Brooklyn in 2005. That was actually August 23rd. But before we go there, let's say August 22nd, Jay Dilla released The Shining in 2006, I believe it says here.
Okay.
Corrupt released in August 23rd, 2005. Corrupt released Against the Grain. August 23rd, 50 Cent gets busted for. We don't need to know that.
That was something random.
Yeah, we don't need to celebrate that anniversary.
No.
Right. Okay. All right. Rhapsody released Eve on August 23rd, 2009.
Okay, good for Rhapsody. We want to shout her out as well. I didn't know it was that long ago, though.
Okay. Oh, we got something here. Kanye, Nas checks Kanye, demands apology for Harriet Tubman in Diss 2020. That's the anniversary that just happened. I'm sorry.
That just happened. Okay. So, yeah. Don Juan, what else have you got going on anniversary-wise? We don't want to take too long and have the guests on the floor in the green room.
Not at all. But I was just going to ask you if you guys remember this one right here. How about Outkast?
Oh.
Millions. Shout out to John Hart. Yeah. I'm going to move them along real quick here. The other one, I bet you guys see here. You remember this one? Lauryn Hill.
Oh, yes.
The Miseducated.
I still got that CD in my stacks right now.
Yeah, multi-classic, man. We ain't seen Lauryn Hill since.
No skips on that album, none.
Oh, here's an oldie but goodie.
Yeah, he just mentioned it.
Yeah, that's right. There you go. And let's just move this further along here. Just a couple quick Born Days here. Humpty Hump, Shock G.
You are kidding me.
1963. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? Happy birthday to Shock G. And we always like our Wu-Tangs. The GZA, born this week, August 22nd, 1966. And there you go. And that's all I have for the Born Days, unless you have anything else to add to it, Dave.
Oh, well, we have here. We doing Kobe Bryant or no? Kobe Bryant?
I didn't get that far. Kobe, man.
Birthdays. These are the birthdays.
Yeah.
Okay. So Kobe Bryant was born this week. Mace was born this week. Dave Chappelle was born this week. I'm going through it as fast as I can because I know you guys are in a rush.
No, not a rush. You know what I'm saying?
Corday, YBN Corday was born this week. Big Kurt was born this week.
Big Crit.
Yes, Big Crit.
Yeah. Get it right in the South, man. I'll be mad at you for that one.
Oh, they know what they can do.
Wow.
That's pretty much all of those that I consider the importance.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we want to go ahead and move into the guest segment. We appreciate him coming on the show and showing some love to Hip Hop Citizen. I know his friend Architect 7 is hooking us up with this live interview. And we just want to say welcome to our guest that's been waiting in the green room, Mr. 357.
Yeah.
What up?
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on and joining us tonight. Why don't you introduce yourselves to the people and let them know where they can find you right off the bat?
All right, nighttrain357.com. That's where you can find me. You can find me everywhere. I'm streaming everywhere. I'm an MC. I like the rippity raps and the hip hops. One quick shout out, rest in peace, of course, to Chadwick Boseman. Also the illustrator for the original Black Panther comic book, Jack Kirby. It was his birthday today. So that's wild.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, Stanley and Jack Kirby did that. And also to add to two Virgo lists that are probably not as impactful in hip hop culture yet, but my DJ Tej, shout out to the Virgos, and also ADST is celebrating the birthday today, which produced most of my new album, The Nightlife. So,
okay. Congrats on one more year around the sun.
Hey, a special, that's an understatement. Lord, happy to be alive.
Very well, okay. Sometimes I wonder, but that's my darkness. Fellas, we are going to get right into it. You guys pose your questions, and I'm going to hang out in the chat room.
You think Jack Kirby was a double agent?
A double agent for who?
Well, he was supposed to have been some sort of agent for the for the government, as well as the comic book writer.
Nope, have no clue. Never heard anything about that. But Julia Childs was a spy, I believe. So anything's possible, you know.
Julia Child was not a spy.
She was not a spy? I thought she was a spy.
No, her husband worked for the Foreign Service.
Oh, okay. See, that's how rumors get started. See, I don't know. All I know is
I'm into cooking, so that's how I know that. But
look, she had a clearance.
I like them already. What other conspiracies do you have, sir?
Oh man, I no conspiracies, man. I don't. My thing about conspiracy theories are, I call it the lazy man's language, because there are a lot of legitimate things that go on in the world. Shout out to 2020. UFOs apparently are a thing that got buried because I think they declassified some stuff in 2015. The Pentagon did. Earlier this year, saying, we have unidentified flying objects, and somebody said, okay, so I when it comes to conspiracies, I'm kind of like, all right, but how does that make me money?
Well, you'll be happy, Mr. Night Train 357, to find out that our federal government announced this week that they will be doing investigations of UFOs from what they declassified earlier in 2015, as well as what they showed recently on the air. So we're going to get to the bottom of these things and find out exactly what they are.
That makes me very happy.
Good.
That makes me very happy because I was like, out of all the murder hornets and everything, I was like, wait, we just gonna gloss over this? Like, really?
I believe we eradicated the murder hornets as well.
Absolutely did not.
We eradicated the murder hornets?
No, somebody captured a murder hornet up in Seattle 2 weeks ago.
Oh man!
I believe that was the only one. We got the one that it was.
The one murder. Is it murder hornet?
We got the one dude. He was the scout.
Is it murder hornet or is it waspinator?
It was one of the murder hornets. Y'all are a mess.
Now I got a conspiracy. I'm gonna talk a little conspiracy with you, Mr. Night Train 357.
Go ahead and shoot. That's okay. I'm a Freemason. I just want to let you know that.
Fair enough.
Oh,
I'm not a Freemason. I'm just no.
Okay, well check this out, Mr. Mason. Do you believe that your song that you have with the Cosmic? What is the name of that song?
Cosmic Cruise.
The Cosmic Cruise.
Yeah.
Do you think that you have some similarity to Bruno Mars in there with the what y'all want to do?
The answer is no, not at all. Bruno Mars, if you look at it, and actually Quincy Jones brought this up. Bruno Mars, which is secretly my cousin. No, that's a lie. He is pulling from influences from the past, and it becomes apparent. And so shout out to him because he pulled the same influences that I pulled from, which was Curtis Blow and Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five. You know, that kind of 80s tone to it. You know, shout out to Artemis, my friend Artemis, which and brilliant MC and also producer of that track. He had kind of a Bay Area feel when he did that song. And he said, "Oh man, you know, it would be cool if you did this, that, and the third." And I just kept feeling that, you know, old school hip hop kind of flow or feel to it. So, you know, me and Bruno Mars sat down in a room and said, and Bruno took his part and I took mine. So there you go.
No, I'm glad you mentioned the Furious Five and old school rap. Let me ask you: are you familiar with Casanova Ed?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Is that inspired your Lois Lane Superman run?
Yes. That was. It's funny when that rhyme. For everybody who hasn't heard the song, go check it out. Nightrain357.com. There's a music video. For that particular line, it's funny you bring that part up because a lot of other stuff was direct sci-fi references, and so although Superman is an alien, Lois Lane is not. And I don't think I've ever seen a comic book where they fly in outer space. But even the tone and the way I said it was indicative of past hip hop legends. You know, there's a lot of references pulled in from that, and I tried to kind of warp it and make it my own, which in a way is my form of hip hop.
You doing this and making this interview pretty easy for me, brother.
Well, I have to say something. You want me to say something controversial, or
no.
I'm running for president of the United States. I just want to let everybody know that.
Hell.
You say sci-fi, and then I see you do the what is the Light of the Living Dead video?
Oh, Night of the Living Dead. Oh, that takes it back. That's my zombie joint. I'm actually working on a new video that's going to be kind of a horror movie. But y'all know about that yet. That was taken at a zombie crawl in downtown Silver Spring, just north of DC, for all the international listeners who don't know where Silver Spring is. And man, I was just like, you know, I was thinner when I did that. Way thinner.
You go to zombie crawls?
Well, the zombie crawl. Well, the zombie crawl. 1 year, my girlfriend, now wife, Brianna, she's probably listening right now in the other room.
Hey, Brianna.
Hey,
girl. Hey.
She has really nice. She has really nice long dreadlocks, and she dressed up as Michonne, and then I dressed up as one of her walkers, one of her zombies.
Okay.
Yeah, and then 1 year we said, you know, we're gonna go to this zombie crawl, and I'm gonna pretend to be a zombie walking around them. And shoot a music video, because why not? So you know.
Why not? You don't have to pay the extras. You don't have to get release forms. Why not?
No. Ain't nobody called me up and said, man, you know, you put me in that video, man. I need my royalty. Look,
I need my, you know, percentage for the day. I need my day rate.
Yeah, your day rate. Yeah, you pay per second that you were up on screen or whatnot. Man, this ain't. No,
you better be careful before SAG-AFTRA comes after you.
So the people that you were shooting a video with them in it?
No, they had no idea.
Mm-mm.
No idea. No clue. And I don't even
already shook that a black person was at a zombie crawl, so you got me.
There was some interesting zombies that year. So yeah, there were a couple of brothers that, you know, I guess I'm not black-ish. I don't know how to what.
We'll ask Biden.
I love that show, by the way.
You said what?
Love the show, Blackish.
Blackish, yeah.
Black ass.
Black-esque. Oh yeah, and shout out to Eve because I have her LP in my background. Since you guys shouted out the anniversary, I thought that was pretty cool.
Oh
yeah.
So what else can you tell us about your inspirations?
I'm a big. Can I curse on this?
Yes.
I'm a big fucking nerd. You know, I grew up watching Twilight Zone and like, you know, King Kong with my father, my grandfather. Like we got into science fiction and stuff like that. I was one of those traumatized kids at like 3 or 4 years old, taking to go see the original Transformers movie in the theater, and I was crying like a little sucker when Optimus Prime died. Spoiler alert.
There's nothing wrong with expressing emotion.
It is when you don't know what that emotion is. I hadn't experienced death. Like really? I was like Simba, like Papa, wake up, like what? So when all these
little heart.
when all these kids are going, oh my God, Tony Stark, Iron Man is dead. I'm like, hold my beer. Like, come on, really? Nah. I saw my hero fade to black. and not even through the whole movie. He was dead at the first 20 minutes of the movie. And you got the touch, and then boom, done. So yeah.
I didn't see it.
Big nerd. It was.
I didn't get to see it.
Well, I ruined it for you. It's a great film, but they really were.
Spoiler alert! Damn it!
Just go on YouTube. Get on Wikipedia right now. Catch up. Stop the show. Go on Wikipedia. Check it out.
So Night Train 357. You kind of mentioned that you kind of described yourself as a self-described nerd. Nerd. Is that a contrarian to the Night Train 357 moniker?
Well, the Night Train 357 moniker is actually based off of my father's CB radio name. My father was big in the Citizens band, like ham radio and stuff. And when he passed away, I took on a name. My government, my Clark Kent is Stephen, and his name was Stephen. And so I said, okay, well, I'm going to just call myself Night Train 357. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
You still part of the ham radio? Do you still participate in ham radio?
Oh, no, not at all. In fact, before he died, if you look in the back, I have one of his bass guitar. He had a 6-string bass guitar. He opened up for like Parliament and stuff. But before he passed away, he said, son, I know you're not going to be interested in no CB radios, but you keep my guitars. I said, okay, Dad. So we gave his CB radio stuff to one of his friends, Larry. His call name was Show Nuff. But because he had really bad BO, my mother called him Stinky. So we gave all the old radio stuff to Stinky. Stinky loved it. I haven't talked to Stinky in years, but Stinky loves CB radio. I mean, we got the internet now, so I don't really need CB radios anymore. But yeah,
that's funny.
That's where it comes from. That's where the Night Train comes from.
So your father used to do the breaker 19 come in, good buddy.
Yeah, and he used to have one of those big towers in the backyard that would like bleed in through everybody else's stuff in the neighborhood. So everybody be like, hey, can you tell your father to turn it down? No, I can't tell him a damn thing because he runs the house. But like you be sitting at home as a kid watching Animaniacs on your UHF, like WB or whatever, and all of a sudden, audio test. Audio test, it's Rick, buddy. And I used to think it was the stupidest thing in the world until one day we're taking a family trip. And my mother had planned this big trip to go to King's Dominion because she wanted all the kids, wanted me and my sister and us to have like a great, weekend or whatever.
Slow down. What's King's Dominion for layman?
The King's Dominion over in near Richmond.
It's an amusement park.
Amusement park, yeah, Paramount's King's Dominion or whatever it was back then. All I know was a Scooby Doo was on that joint, and the Grizzly, and it was closed. And I said, and mother got really upset. She was like, we came all the way out here and I didn't even check the hours of operation. So my father hits his CB radio, audio, trust, and they ain't no MapQuest or whatever back in the day. So, Google Maps. And so he contacted his radio people and they directed him to Busch Gardens. So we ended up having a good day at Busch Gardens. So, I was like, oh, wow, it actually is useful other than bleeding into my Animaniacs. But that used to piss me the hell off.
I love CB radios. It was the best. When my father used to take us down south. It's a 600-mile trip. And that was the only entertainment we have when it was back and forth, or they wanted to warn you that Smokey was up ahead. It's such a
oh, Smokey.
The one thing about ham radio or CB radio is when I was 10 years old, I would talk on the radio and all the truckers thought I was a girl. They'd be like, hey, cutie. I'm like, no, I'm a boy. And we were all laughing.
Puberty ain't no joke, man. Puberty ain't no joke. Before I hit puberty, I had hey, I'm Steven. And I had one of them Ralph from Simpsons voices, like, hi, you choose me.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're tuning into 357 on Hip Hop Citizen Friday Night Live.
I'm trying to have some fun. I'm trying to have
Call in if you want to join the discussion. We are discussing everything from his father's loving hobby that he now despises to the fact that he sounded like a girl at one point.
Yeah,
so call in and discuss.
Well, I think all young boys sound like girls on the radio. So.
Nah, the most insulting thing that ever happened to me was getting on one of when them bill collectors call, and me and my father the same name, and they would call and they excuse me, young lady, is your is your father home? Shit.
Hey, let's get back to the music real quick.
Yeah, let's get back to the hip hop.
The song that you got with Rome, where you guys are going on a guy's night out. And,
oh man,
what's the name of that track, sir?
Turn It Up.
Turn It Up. Now, you guys are going back and forth and you're discussing actually having women at home and still yet looking for women. Did you get any conflict with that at home?
Not at all, because it's not a real story. It's like most rap songs. It's not real.
But yet you set the scenario as if you guys would do that.
Oh yeah, as we would. You know, there are times when you have a moment where you're like, that was a song. I can't remember. What was it? I think I Love My Wife. No, it was a song. It was something that Walter Matthau had done way back in the day before he was like the Mr. Wilson and Dennis the Menace, like 1960s or something, where it was all about him trying to cheat on his wife. And he realized that that was a stupid idea. And that's kind of the synopsis of it. It's just like not necessarily cheating, but just kind of having a guys' night. Doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna go out and get something. It just means, you know, you're trying to, like, you know, when you get older, you realize that your motives are different.
Yeah.
And it's nothing wrong with getting tampons for your wife. Happy wife, happy life. Nothing wrong with it.
You made a mention of that you would have to pick up tampons before you came home. Are you accustomed to doing that?
Oh, hell yeah. Sports Fit. Hey, Bree. Oh, she's in another room. I was going to ask her. I was kind of trying
to air her out. Don't.
What? So, everybody has tampons?
So you are in tune with your wife's menstrual. You know when exactly it's occurring.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah, exactly.
You're supposed to. Every man
You're supposed to.
Yeah, you gotta know when the bills are paid and when your wife is menstrual cycle.
Yeah, my wife is my best friend. So yeah, we you know, when she lets me know. She lets me know ahead of time. She says it's good. I'm gonna fuck you up this week, Steve.
Bree, I'm so sorry that they're discussing your menstrual cycle, sweetie.
Does that prevent romance in the bedroom?
Oh, here we go.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. What prevented romance in the bedroom was all the Transformers I had in the bedroom, so she had me move them.
You guys have kids?
You said what?
You guys have kids?
No kids. None right now. We are having plenty of unprotected sex.
How long have you been married?
Let me see. Since the president was black.
The first term or the second?
The second term, 2016. We got, and it was what's special about our marriage is we were married at a time when we thought the next president was going to be a woman. So it was still hope. You know what I'm saying? It was like some of my friends get married and have kids, and I was like, ha, I got married when the black man was in the office. So, you know.
You're a registered Democrat?
Yes, I am. I actually am a registered Democrat.
Well, he's from Maryland.
Yeah, go ahead.
Will you be supporting Biden?
Let's not talk politics right now, because I can go down a long.
We talked about Bree's menstrual. We can't talk about politics.
That's a very good point, Diva. That's a damn good point. Okay. Oh, but also, this is a great time to plug my next podcast. It's going to be called Trolling for Friends, which I'm doing with my friend Al the Prophet. Shout out to Al if he's listening. Where we do talk a lot about that. Yes, I will definitely be supporting not Donald Trump. So
you joke about the podcast, but you do have a podcast. Honestly.
I do. Yes.
And is that where the talent comes from? That's what you seem to be a natural. You got a gift. You also do rapping. It sounds like you're a comedian. Is that a stretch?
I'm not a comedian. My life is funny, but I'm not a comedian. No, comedy comes from just being myself. You know, not trying to take life too seriously, because life is short, as we know. You know, rest in peace to the greats. But you know, we have to remember to ourselves that you know, like some of the stories I say in some of the new record, like I'm talking about my grandfather. there were a lot of jewels. You know, there's a lot of ups and downs in life, and so you have to capture the ups because there's going to be a lot of downs. And so, you know, my day is filled. Like, I have this thing about social media where you get on social media and it's just like everybody wants to be a pundit and everybody wants to tell you what the worst thing that's going on in the world. And I am very aware of that. I don't need to be reminded that I'm black in America every minute. And it's like sometimes you just want to step away. You want to laugh. You want to have a good time, because that's what makes life worth living sometimes. At least that's what makes my life worth living. Some people just dwell in misery. And it's like, I did that for a long time. It didn't work. It gave me more gray hairs than I care to say I have. So I said, okay, well, let me try to be a little more positive nowadays.
So when a person first meets you and they find out your name is Night Train 357, is that a conflict of the personality that you have?
It used to be, but it's not anymore. My life is just, I am a rapping graphic designing martial artist. Like literally the partners at my firm, which like meet with Kamala Harris, will come to my rap shows and support me. So it's great to have that kind of support in a creative environment. It's just being a creative across the board. My martial arts instructor is a 7-time world martial arts champion, only black man to get 7 championships in the world. His name is Willie the Bam Johnson, and not only will he kick your butt in the black belt cycle, but he'll also support your music. So it's great.
So do you go out when you go out with your guy Roan? Do you pick fights?
Oh hell no! Why would I pick fights?
Just to show your techniques that you can kick ass. And
hell no. You know why? Because when you're a real black belt, you don't need to. You don't size people up trying to. I said black belt. I said Cobra Kai. Ain't nobody doing no go. Ain't nobody trying to start fights. No, man.
Wow.
No, you end fights.
Oh, with a name like 357, I would think that you would be a tough guy.
No, I'm not a tough guy. That's my dad's name, and that is it. 357. I asked my uncle one time. I said, "What does the 357 mean?" And he said, "It's like the gun." And I went, "Oh shit." Well, actually, I'm completely anti-gun. But the one of the main reasons was actually a technical reason I kept 357, and that was because I didn't want to get confused when people were looking for me and find James Brown's Night Train.
Okay,
There you go.
Did my research.
My first thought was that you were a Opie Hammer backup dancer.
I can do a Mean Carlton, but no, I can't do anything else. Beyond that, I got 2 left feet.
Yeah, and a mention of Cobra Kai, they recently been purchased by Netflix, and season 3 will be airing on Netflix. But you can catch season 1 and 2 of Cobra Kai on Netflix. That's my commercial for the night, ladies.
I was about to say that sounds like a commercial.
I was about to say hashtag not sponsored.
Yeah, I'm about to say write some brothers a check.
FCC, don't come for us. Like we are not sponsored.
I totally saw that too. I said I was just watching War for Cybertron Siege just before this show, and I saw that come up. So it's on Netflix now, like one of the Cobra Kai seasons. So
oh my goodness.
So when you do have children, are you going to allow them to play with your lavish, luxurious toys?
Hell no.
Interesting.
Come on now. They're gonna have a
they
whole
don't inherit the Transformers?
If they want it, I don't care. It's funny, my grandfather, rest in peace, Otis Holman, he had he got into model trains when he retired, and he had a whole room in the basement that was nothing but model trains. And you know, it was so intricate that he had a town named after every family member. It was like, oh, go to Stevens Street or go in there, you know, whatever. And it was like, and we loved it, and we didn't really mess with it because we knew it was his, even though he would show us and we move the trains on the track and stuff like that. But we never roughhoused with it because, you know, at the time when we were little, you know, you couldn't mess with that stuff. When you got older and you were able to appreciate it, sure. But a lot of my stuff is for display, and I transform them from time to time. I'm waiting for my wife to leave on vacation after COVID-19 so I can have a giant war in the bedroom, which is Transformers.
Oh, so you still play with your toys?
Absolutely.
Interesting.
Absolutely.
When was the last time you played with your toys, sir?
Pause.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, specifically, the last time I transformed a robot was probably earlier today while I was waiting for my computer to load something. I was like, hey, you know what? Let me turn this truck into a robot real quick. Like, that's the level. That's the level of it.
And for a little bit of clarity, please tell my audience your age.
I am old enough to vote.
No. Come on. You've been so honest.
I am a 37-year-old grown ass man.
Okay, you're not as old as I thought. I thought you were in your 40s, but
No.
yeah, the upper age of 30 is fine.
Oh, gee, thanks.
You can still play with toys and not weird.
Well, that's something else that's interesting. You bring that up because the whole nerd rap toy thing or whatever is, and to tie this into the album as well. It's about being different, and it's about being okay with who you are. And what I've learned over the years is the older I get, fuck what everybody else says, fuck what everybody else thinks. Because at the end of the day, I look at things and I go, I'm a grown ass man and pay my own bills with a beautiful, wonderful wife, a loving family, and as my grandma said, a pocket full of money. And I asked my grandma, I said, can I borrow some money? She said, absolutely not.
That's why you gave your age, because that is exactly the attitude that you should have, my man. Night Train 357. And what did you say your real name? Stephen
Wilkes.
Stephen Wilkes, Mr. Wilkes.
There you go, make him put his whole government out there.
That's not my whole government.
Yeah, he didn't say Junior.
I didn't give you the middle name. And I'm actually not a junior. I'm actually not a junior.
What do you?
Yeah, we got different middle names. So yeah.
Yeah, there you go. That's how you appease everybody.
And there was a famous photographer named Stephen Wilkes, which I got confused with all the time. I'm like, no, I'm not an old white man from Britain. Like,
oh well, unless you're sending a check.
Yeah, I thought he shot.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, he shot Abraham Lincoln, didn't he?
Abraham Lincoln, John Wilkes Booth did, and that's
yes. Thank you.
Every time I met Starbucks.
Ladies and gentlemen, Howard University alum.
Yeah,
John Juan the Mac just said that. Please direct all of your tweets and Facebook posts to him.
Mr. Wilkes, why did you visit the march in what is it called, the Washington D.C. today?
Absolutely not. I had to go to work. I'm still working 9 to 5, but it's funny you bring that up. After all the terrible stuff that happened, I released my entire catalog for free download with a donation. The album just before this one was called Graves with my cousin Roan, and we had a song right before we recorded it right after Agent Orange got elected as president. We called it My Life Matters. And so I re-released that song, and I let everybody know that, and this was kind of my way to kind of help, because I really wasn't into the marching thing. No disrespect to anybody who was marching, but mask up, COVID-19 is still out there. I was like, I got to do something. So I gave my entire catalog out for free, and 100% of the proceeds went to Color of Change, a nonprofit organization helping with the BLM. And it's still going today, except with a portion of the proceeds now. So, and that goes for my new album as well. A portion of the proceeds is going to help nonprofits.
What's the name of the new album?
The Nightlife.
The Nightlife. Okay.
Yes.
How many tracks is on Nightlife?
There are 11 wonderful tracks, and I might send you an extra one if you're really nice to me.
I'll be as nice as you possibly can. So when you're doing the Nightlife, how long ago did you record Nightlife?
Jesus, actually about a year ago. And there's things to think about, and I say this to every MC out there: is I'm a fan of quality. It's got to be dope, and you have to be confident enough, because I got it pressed in wax. You have to be confident enough in your bars and in your production and everything to want this music that's part of the culture to kind of transcend time. Not necessarily forcing it to be timeless, but be as genuine and authentic as possible. And so there was a lot of going back and forth, like, that's not right. This got to be this. This got to be this. Is this me? Until you got to somewhere where you were like, all right, let's make this happen.
So whose idea was it to have God feature on Say What?
Ooh, you really went deep. That was a collaborative. That was me and Roan. We both collaborated on that joint, and we were just like, I was just like, yo, this joint is so sick. You just gotta have God on this track. And he said, I'm gonna put this one line in, but then he kept going. and he kept going. And it was like, God just came down and blessed us with it,
Whose voice is it actually playing God?
All of us.
We are all God. God is all of us.
Yeah, that's Diva's answer. I need you to be a little more specific.
I tried to help you, dude.
I can't be. I can't give you that one.
Oh, you gotta have some mystery.
Gotta have some mystery. You already know part of my government, so I might as well give you
Thank
something.
you. You trying to get everything out of you. Your social, your grandma's maiden name, everything.
No, man.
Well, I thought you were going to be forthcoming and just open and honest with us.
Uh-huh.
I was.
Oh my goodness.
I heard.
I'm sorry. His wife's menstrual cycle wasn't enough for you. I'm gonna keep bringing it up.
Yeah, that was literally.
I think he's still withholding. How about that?
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Night Train 357 and David Simonism discuss Brianna's menstrual cycle on Hip Hop Citizen Friday night live stream. We want to shout out to the Twitch peeps that are hanging out in the chat. Thank you so much. Well, we hope that you're subscribing and following. Also, make sure that you share the stream on Facebook. And John Harp, we see you on YouTube hanging out, holding it down with the one other person in you in the chat room. So keep it up, brother. We appreciate you.
Architect 7 said need his credit card info. Nah.
Yeah.
All right, credit card info and the security number on the back. Don't forget the digits on the back.
Yeah, you don't want my score, bro.
Yeah, you better
who are you talking to scores about?
Yeah.
He's talking about 8, 9, 10 digits.
Sherry T, I know you're still holding it down in there. Thank y'all for tuning in.
What school you graduated, Mr. Night Train?
I went to Duval High School. Let me see, who else went to Duval? I think Genuine went to Duval High School. So
really?
Yeah, I think so. I think Maya went up the street. Maya was at Roosevelt up the street. And Genuine was a couple years before me. So yeah, shout out to the DMV that people don't know is DMV, but yeah,
Did you bring up another
for the international viewers, what's DMV?
Y'all tell me.
Delaware, Maryland, Virginia.
There we go. There you go. Say it with heart.
It's not Delaware.
They keep telling me DC, Maryland, and Virginia.
It's DC.
Is Maryland? No. It's Delaware, Maryland, and Virginia.
Okay, I'm gonna have.
Who told you that?
The guy on the CB when I said break a 19, break a 19.
The same.
Where you at? And he said the DMV.
We don't have this argument. All my friends, everything would always say DC, Maryland, Virginia. It's DC, Maryland, Virginia.
Yeah, nobody's shouting out Delaware there, buddy.
You don't like them.
Hating on Delaware. I don't understand it.
Ain't nobody hating on Delaware.
Hey, I get tax exempt.
Delaware's a state. Maryland's a state.
We understand they're a state. They were the first one, but we're saying DMV is DC, Maryland, Virginia. Who in the chat
DC is a state of
wants to big up their area right now? Shout out where you're from in the
chat. Where you from, y'all? Where y'all from?
Yeah,
where you at?
Where you listening from?
So Night Train 357. You mentioned the DMV, DC, Maryland, and Virginia, USA. It's just such thing as DMV. Some artists say don't call it DMV. Some artists says it's either DC. Some artists says it's just Maryland. It's PG. Some artists says it's Virginia. Is DMV the proper vernacular for that area?
Yes, absolutely. It's my popular vernacular. The thing about it is, I can't speak for other metro areas, and so I know Jersey is very separate from New York, but in the DMV, okay, like you a hop, skip, and a jump from the district. Like my whole family was from the district. Literally my grandparents lived in Chapel Oaks, which was in Washington D.C. until they moved the state line. That's how close we were. Like it was Glen Arden, it was Prince George's County, and you were jumping from one place to another. I lived in Maryland. I'm Maryland through and through. But when I was acting up, I lived in a lower middle class home. When I was acting up and something was going on, guess where my father took me? Took me right over southeast in the projects and said, nigga, you're gonna end up here. You're gonna end up here if you keep messing with me. So yeah, DMV. And then Virginia is somewhere in there, I like, Kings Dominion.
I'm sure Architect has something to say about Virginia being included because I always give credit to Virginia Beach for stuff, and he's like, "No, it's West Virginia too." I'm like, "Okay, sweetheart."
So if you're a married man, what do you know about the nightlife?
The nightlife is about introspection on my album, so it's not about the nightlife. I can tell you from my experience that, and this is real talk, because it's Friday night and the mood is right. I personally believe a man should not be out past midnight.
Oh Lord.
If they are not getting paid or they getting laid. If you are not getting one of those two things, there is no reason. What the hell reason, especially a black man, when you out that late? You better be, hey, she gonna be over here in a minute. I got the scented oils. Or you like me, you doing a show and you getting money at the end of the night. There ain't nothing good happening at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. Even the food is bad. What you got? McDonald's and like a beat up Waffle House with like the one roach that you don't look at. Because you were what's out there? Nothing.
What
and
does,
the bounce, yeah.
What does 357 get for a performance?
What would I get for performance?
Yes, sir.
Millions of pennies.
You said millions of pennies. I'm so deceived.
What's that equivalent to in dollars?
I am deceived.
I had you shaking your head like, yeah, millions. No. Lots of love. Lots
are
of
all the
VA
guests
love.
from the same neighborhood? We do have a bit of a Virginia skew because of our guest wrangler. That would be Architect 7, hanging out in Northern Virginia. So we do have a bit of a skew there. If you have anybody that would like to come on and be a guest that is outside of that area, you would hit up Architect 7 since he's the talent wrangler and let him know that you want to see people outside the Virginia border.
Hold on.
Shots fired.
We've had Brooklyn. We have Brooklyn here.
We have Brooklyn. We have Pennsylvania.
Dallas, Texas. San Francisco.
Yeah, absolutely. We're not just tied down to Seattle.
We're not.
I don't know. Diva scene. I don't know.
Oh,
Yeah,
maybe Mr. Harp is only catching our Virginia guests.
DMV equals I'm in a city that most folks outside. What do you say? Most folks outside
of the area haven't heard of it.
Yeah, well, that got to change.
Mr. Harp is Georgia, so you know.
Yeah, he's in like ATL.
Yes, but you were saying on the pay scale for your performances, it was in the range of
pennies.
No.
Millions of pennies.
Just in case somebody want to book you, they might want to have you after the COVID-19 thing, because I think you have a sense of COVID-19 fear where you wouldn't want to perform now, where people are not performing now, actually. So after that pandemic thing is over with, and someone may want to book 357, is your asking price $357?
I actually don't know what my asking price would be.
Okay.
I think
Come on, brother. You know your worth.
No. And it's
know
because
your worth. That's not okay.
No, I don't know. I really don't know. You know why? Because I'm so big. You know what? I have sold so much merch at a lot of my events that depending on the situation, and we actually, me and my cousin, again, Roan, shout out to Roan, we did a song called the 10 Rap Commandments, which was, of course, 10 crack commandments, but hip hop. And one of our rules was if you want to grow, you got to sell merch.
Well, let's see some.
Oh, I think you're wearing it, right? You're wearing your merch, right?
I'm wearing a DC shirt just from the 8th Street Festival. It's actually not mine. I actually got to find the guy who made this shirt because I love this design.
Yes, it is. It's very unique. I like it myself.
This is actually
Michael, we see you in Twitch. What do we got right here?
So this is the Nightlife LP.
Okay.
Which is on eco-friendly vinyl.
Ooh.
And every vinyl copy, every copy that you get is a different color.
Okay.
So, there's only about 200 of these. Got them limited edition. Anybody who, of course, buys one of these gets a digital download, which you can find at nighttrain357.com. They are on sale right now. The album is fire. So I've been told.
And how much does say so himself?
Yes.
How much you charge for that?
About $25.
$25. That's an interesting price. How did you come to that conclusion?
Because number one, I needed to get paid, and number two, I looked at the general price. I mean, even Rhapsody's album, I think I bought for about 20. I'll say 26 or somewhere between $26 and $30. You look at just
You know what, Architect?
what do you say?
Being petty in the
It's called a
comments.
Vinyl Diva. What is Vinyl Diva?
He said he forgot the comma. First of all,
You were
drop out, and second of all,
It's
I know
called
what a vinyl is.
Vinyl Diva. Oh, okay. I was like, what?
Trying to
Yeah.
act like I wouldn't
Record.
know what a vinyl record is. You know what? Stay
Rotation.
homesick. Ain't you homesick?
I believe you were saying Night Train.
Oh yeah. You kind of okay. The real talk is, obviously you want to make a profit off of it. You're not. For that price, it was really based on the units that I purchased, and then what would make a profit. But not only that, but also how to make sure that I made enough money to pay my bills because I thought it was a good product, but also enabling me to take some of the off the top and give back to #Save Our Stages and to nonprofits helping Black Lives Matter.
And what colors do the album come in? The vinyl come in?
Any color but white. So you can get a lot of purples, a lot of blues right now, some yellows, some greens, like pretty much sour apple, like in pretty much anything. And yeah, it is very expensive to press. So back in the day, you go to a record shop, you get I don't know, one of my friends bought a Leah album for like $4 at a record shop. Like do you remember the Leah album, just one before she died, Rock the Boat and all?
Oh my goodness, yes.
That joint is like $300 on Amazon now.
Shut up. The vinyl?
The vinyl, yeah.
Unopened.
Nice.
Yeah, unopened. $300. I was like,
Nice.
Are you a collector?
no, but I just started kind of like after when COVID-19 hit, I did this thing where I was like, I'm just starting my collection, kind of. I do this thing where it's called vinyl worthy. Is the record, whatever the album is, nowadays we in a world where everything is just singles and ringtones or whatever. What was the last album that you could just listen to from beginning to end? Even my demographic is that type. Singles is cool, blah, blah, blah. But what albums really resonate with you? And then I'll go back in my back catalog in my mind, what I grew up with in the 90s and in the 80s. And then even taking it further back, like the 70s and the 60s, and just kind of like pull little jewels like, Carlos Santana, Abraxas, or like, obviously Prince, Purple Rain, and pretty much all of Michael's catalog. And, it's just something special about hearing it on wax. I don't plan to have crates and crates and crates. Like people be like my DJ T. He does an all vinyl set on Thursdays. Called the artist. It has an artist residence where him and his wife, she live paints while he DJs, and it's an all vinyl set. And after you're done, he'll pull up the vinyl and show you and be like, "Now I know what y'all gonna say about Ike Turner, but this is true." And I'm like, "It is good. It's really good." But yeah, I'm not to that level yet. But
Are they on Twitch?
Hey,
they're on Instagram Live and Facebook right now.
Diva,
Okay.
why don't you paint while me and this guy talk here? You do some painting, okay?
Some
What,
live
my
painting.
nails?
Yeah, I don't know. Draw the man something. We only got
Since
a
you
couple.
got requests. You want to go ahead and like pick up some stuff from Live Love Polish, not sponsored?
Let's
How
go.
about a Dinobot? I'm sure he would be interested.
Dinobot.
Why would you paint a Dinobot?
Why would I paint a Dinobot?
I feel like you just threw that
You
random.
just threw that in there.
You just threw that in there.
Not
Speaking of transform,
Not many people know what a Dinobot is. Right?
yeah,
I would be
He took it all the way back.
Grimlock. Shout out to Grimlock.
Exactly.
That's my favorite. He in the back. He on the shelf somewhere. He back there.
Oh my goodness.
So none of your toys are unopened.
I got a couple in boxes. But yeah, most of them are open. I don't believe in. The whole point is to have them out and play with them and enjoy them. Let's be real. Let's be real. Okay. I hate Ronald Reagan.
Oh my God.
I hate
Random?
Ronald Reagan. No. See where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
The one thing that the Reagan administration did was they lifted certain like FCC rules or whatever to sell to children. Prior to in the 1970s, there was a lot of fun stuff and educational stuff and Schoolhouse Rock and blah blah blah. And then Reagan came in and said, "No, it's okay. We can sell and make product and do products." And so you get
the impressions too.
Yeah, you do the Ninja Turtles and the He-Mans and stuff like that, and you wake up and one day you're like, "Oh shit, Reaganomics, that really fucking sucked." But you know, you got a lot of fun memories. You know, I don't know if you guys have seen that thing on Netflix. What is it called? The toys that make us, the toys that made us.
Oh yeah, the toys that made us.
Yeah. It's very informative.
It's funny. Yeah,
it's very funny.
You're right. He lifted the regulation on the FCC that talked about advertising directly to children.
Yes,
and so it began during his administration that you could directly market your items to children.
But they were marketing the children before that. They were marketing cereal and the little toys in those, as well as the films that they were putting out. No adult wanted to see E.T., so it was semantics that they were splitting. But that's besides the point.
Right.
We're at that time of the show, Mr. Night Train, where the guest that happens to be an MC spits a hard, hot 16 for the audience and bid himself farewell.
Okay.
How goes you and your freestyle, Mr. Night Train?
My freestyle is whack right now.
It's okay. It's okay.
And I'll tell you why. Usually my freestyle is off the chain. But since getting ready for the nightlife, as an MC, I got to wear multiple hats. So while some of my friends in the area have been writing some incredible stuff and putting it out, and I'll get mad because I'm like, oh, I'm getting a pen. I want to do this. But I'm sitting there making music videos. Every single music video you guys saw was completely produced by me.
Oh,
so
great.
Yeah, I'm sitting up on YouTube all night, like learning how to build planets in outer space. And so, you know, that took me a little bit out of the usual hip hop mode because I had to do that. Like one thing they don't talk about in hip hop enough is spreadsheets. Okay. So you gotta get your spreadsheets.
Really?
You gotta make sure your spreadsheets and your money is right. Because not only am I writing the script, but I'm also getting the props together, getting the green screen, creating the visual effects, and doing all of that. So by the time it's time to get to the pen, I'm already like, I'm flushed out. But I got 16 for you.
God bless you. And shout out to Ron.
Shout out to Ron, big Ron in the building. I'm gonna do something. One of my favorite verses off of the nightlife, real quick.
Hey.
Maryland mindset with DC influence. Listening to music that would groove and start a movement. Grew around drugs in the hoods and the burbs and hustling on the corner and the bullies in the schools. Sounds a bit redundant, but I gotta speak my truth. Didn't want attention, so I did my best to duck down a bustin' loose Chuck Brown, called the sack to Uptown. Went to high school, wasn't cool, but I don't give a fuck now. Round here, when you really don't care, be prepared for indefinite stares. Wish I had a time machine so I could tell a younger me to keep those middle fingers waving up in the air. But now we're in the present, and my life is filled with lessons. Is it a highway to hell or a stairway to heaven? It's really all dependent how the pendulum swings. But one thing, I'm done pretending I don't want a happy ending.
Fantastic. Night Train 357, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Woo!
God bless you all.
That was decent. Off of the Nightlife album. Go out and catch it. Spend $25 for the vinyl. Go home and cut it up. Become a DJ of some sort. That's some hot lyrics there, my friend. Thank you for joining us this evening.
Absolutely. Thank you. Night Train 357, man. What else?
Where can they find you?
You can find me at nighttrain357.com. That is also, I'm mainly on Instagram, also under the same name, or on Twitter at Train357.
Hey, shout
out to Bree.
Love you, baby.
Yes. God bless you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Night Train.
Peace.
I think that was another great guest, man. I'll tell you.
I forgot that. What's the name of his? He said it, but I don't remember it. What was the name of his podcast?
Hey, Night Train still there?
Trolling for Friends. Trolling for Friends. You can find it on YouTube. Is where we take it's me and my man Al Prophet, formerly of Murder Inc. and Out of Profit, genius, brilliant Renaissance man, and we call it Trolling for Friends. We'll be coming back this September, where the online rage goes offline.
Awesome.
I'll be tuning in.
Yeah.
Looking like Trey.
I think we're all trolling for friends one way or another. And our comment section is our friends. Shout out to the Martins. Shout out to Harp. He was there. Jerry. I believe that's how you pronounce that. Don Juan.
Yep. Idiomatic music. Shout out to Twitch. Follow us on Twitch. Thank you for following us out there on Twitch.
And I wish Diva would not recognize Architect 7 because he could have been here tonight and conducting the interview as well as you, Don Juan, and myself. But yet he's laid up there somewhere claiming to be ill or is ill, whichever it is. But he's chiming in on the comments, and we were supposed to ignore him like he was a regular, ordinary fan
with diarrhea fingers.
We don't ignore our fans.
Shout out to Architect 7. Shout out to who else is missing? Dialect 718. Diva only shows up when these guys are out. I love it.
I gotta keep the train on the tracks a little bit anyway.
So now we know the letter of Stephen Wilkes' name, middle name, and that's F. So it's Stephen Wilkes.
Oh Lord.
We caught up with him now.
He done put it all out there. You gonna start getting like mail for lingerie catalogs and catheter services from David Simonism. It's gonna be a mess at your house.
Thank you for having a sense of humor, Mr. Wilkes.
Man, he does, man. I think he has an ultimate career as a comic.
But I tell you, Diva, when they come and get me, it'll be the ultimate achievement, man.
See. We want to thank our guests for being on with us tonight. That was Night Train 357. If you're just tuning in with us, this is Hip Hop Citizen live stream. You're joining Friday Night Live, where we talk about all things hip hop. We've done anniversaries, birthdays. We had a great interview with our guest. You can find him on his socials on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. I'm sure he has a page. He has a podcast called Trolling for Friends, and he is going to be promoting himself in the chats. We hope he will continue to do that. Miss Brianna, thank you so much, girl. I'm sorry that they put all your business out there, girl. If you open-minded like that, I salute you. But shout out to Brianna as well. Steven wants to let us know he also did a Craig Robinson set as well. So he wants that clout included as well. So everybody give him clout. He is a multi-hyphenate, folks, and we want to support our artists that are out there grinding in the underground scene, as well as the ones that are on the come up. And I believe, David Simonism, you just interviewed somebody that's on the come up.
Oh, yes, absolutely. If not already established. I mean, he's doing his own thing. He's making his own bread, making his own albums. He's the Master P, Jay-Z of this era.
Yeah.
And all those have to recognize. And I believe you can get all of that information on nighttrain357.com. That's where you can reach him.
And the Instagram as well. I saw it on the Instagram, Night Train 357.
Absolutely. If he's on Twitch, we want him to join us on Twitch. Let's all be friends. Guys, don't forget that this is an interactive live stream show. We do have the link posted in the comments on YouTube and on Facebook. We absolutely do want to hear from you. We want you to talk to us, not just in the chat, but also in the live discussion, because we're going to move right now into our news and gossip and whatever we feel like talking about section of the show. If you're just joining us, make sure you hit us up. I am Diva Views. You can find me on Instagram at It's Diva Views. You're also tuning in to David Simonism and Howard alum, in case anybody forgot, Don Juan the Mac. We're sorry to let you guys know, if you haven't heard already, that we have lost Mr. Chadwick Boseman at the age of 43. He passed away from stage 4 colon cancer. We are gutted by his passing. And so that's one of the first pieces of news that we have right now. It just happened in LA. He was with his family, and we are just so saddened by that. So please have a quiet moment, send some positive energy into the universe for Mr. Boseman and his passing.
Well, I mean, if you were going to pass, I'm sorry, Don, you were going to say?
Oh, no, I was going to yield to you, sir.
Again, I mentioned to you, Diva, that, if you were going to pass and you're a black man, the 28th of August was the best day to go, because that was the day Emmett Till unfortunately demise, as well as I Have a Dream speech. So, those two events and that day is significant in the Black African-American culture. So, Chasman Bowman is now entered into the Hall of Fame of August 28th 2020, unfortunately, the only way to get in, you have to die.
Unfortunately, yeah. We also do want to shout out the March on Washington commemoration that took place today. They had many guests out there in that heat, by the way. Washington, D.C. heat is like nothing else. It's like right there on the Potomac.
Wow.
They were out by they were on the lake, not the lake. What do they call it, Don Juan, out there?
I don't know, the Memorial Pond. I don't know, the
Is
pond.
it Memorial Park?
The
And
pond.
they were on those steps. They had Jacob Blake's father out there. They had his sister out there. They had Breonna Taylor's mother out there. And when she stepped to the mic, they started chanting, "Say her name, Breonna Taylor." They had many speakers up there. They had the granddaughter, the only granddaughter of Martin Luther King Jr. speak. She was adorable. Yes, 2020 is attacking Black excellence. They want to take it all from us, and I'm so over it. So the only other thing that I want to commemorate this week that we didn't get to in the anniversaries because it didn't seem appropriate was the passing of hip hop princess Aaliyah Houghton. Her plane crashed in the Bahamas this week, and we lost her in her prime. She was just getting into she was discovering herself as an artist and an actress. She was gorgeous. She was loved. And so we want to mention Aaliyah's passing as well. So shout out to baby girl. She is still to this day acknowledged by Missy Misdemeanor Elliott as the catalyst for her career. And I think that's great.
Well, we also can mention it's the 29th of August now. The great Michael Jackson's demise occurred.
It is now August 29th. Pardon me.
I'm sorry. His demise occurred in June, but his birthday is today.
His birthday is today. Okay.
Yes. His heavenly birthday, as they call it when you pass away, and they still want to wish you a happy birthday. So, our guest Night Train 357 had Off the Wall album on it. Was that Off the Wall? Or
I believe that was Thriller in the background.
Thriller album cover in the background. So that was what resonated in my mind when I was looking at the date and noticing that yes, Michael Jackson's birthday was coming, and it actually is today. So
okay.
We unfortunately don't have any Michael Jackson songs to bring, but I can always do the one with the say
no, please don't.
What you want,
No.
I don't care.
Okay, that would be the duet with Paul McCartney.
That was the greatest song ever made.
Okay. Thank
you. More Michael Jackson for you. Do you remember?
No, all right. Nobody asked for this. We're going through enough right now.
The time we first met, girl.
We're suffering enough. We've had a lot of loss. So
it's this Thriller.
If you could be respectful of the fact that that we're in mourning right now.
Because it's Thriller.
So what else have we got going on? So one of the first articles you guys wanted to talk about was Nas.
Beat it. Don't let nobody mistreat.
Do we have to just let you get this out your system?
I think that's a promo for the David Simon show. The David Simonism show. There you go. It's the promo.
He cracks himself up, ladies and gentlemen, every Wednesday.
Because I'm bad. You know.
As you saying,
I'm bad.
That's y'all's friend.
Look, Dave is great, and the David Simon show is even better. I'll say that much.
Thank you, sir. Because we are the world.
But I didn't know you could sing, so.
We are the ones that make a better day, so let's start living.
So you're a big fan of Mike. I get it, Dave. So David, I don't know what else is. The loss of the Black Panther himself is one of those things that kind of has me wondering. What next? What how much worse can this get? I mean,
why'd you even say that out loud? What do you mean how much worse it can get? It can always get worse. There's still like 3 months left in the year.
Yeah.
Of course things could get worse. I want a circle peed around Stevie Wonder, Shaka Khan, Loretta Devine. I want eyes on everybody. I want 24-hour security. I want murder hornets with sniper rifles. I want it all.
Yeah, yeah. And the other thing that we see trending today, I guess, is the Jacob. We seen I guess they're saying that he had a warrant and there was a knife. And so there's new leaks with that, and the father's pretty much complaining about the fact that it's kind of hard to see a paralyzed son shackled and chained to a bed. What do you guys think about that? Does the police have a point that someone can go in there and roll him out of the hospital, I guess?
Okay, now anytime there is a conflict with the authorities, and the individual ends up in the hospital, naturally they most likely would be handcuffed due to the fact that there is a potential that there was an arrest occurring or there was a crime committed, and he also had warrants that they did not release him from his restraints until those warrants was vacated by a judge of that state. What is the state? Kentucky?
Wisconsin.
Thank you. And they, once they freed him, they released him from the handcuffs and the restraints to the bed. But at first they were saying that it was for his own protection, that he didn't hurt himself. But later on they said that he actually was under some sort of warrant, and that once the warrant was vacated, he was able to be released.
Yeah. I the more I hear this story, the more it makes me irate, I tell you. So, my condolences goes out to the family there.
Well, he didn't die, but let me tell you something that's funny. He was trying to get the hell out of Dodge when the police was there, and they should let the man go. I mean, goddamn it! If you can't go when the police come, when can you leave?
Yeah, it's one of those things to me. It's kind of like, you hear it all the time. They always ask, why did you have to move from the police anyway? Why didn't you just stop and move? And two people come to mind: Tamir Rice and Philando Castile, legal, law-abiding people who were doing what they're supposed to do and still got murdered at the hands of police.
Well, I always bring up Charles Kinsey. Charles Kinsey was a caregiver that was looking out for an autistic man that had wandered into the middle of the street with a toy in his hand. And a random neighbor, of course, called the cops saying they thought it was a gun. So they surrounded him in the street. And when Charles came out to try to get the man out of the middle of the street, they gave him, a plethora of commands all at the same time, playing hokey pokey, get on the ground, put your hands up, take your pockets out, stretch out, turn yourself around. He had his hands up in the air on his back, and he still got shot in the leg.
Well, I mean, to get shot in the back.
So what did complying get him?
Well, you bring up a good point, Devo. I mean, what about those of the handicapped or the mentally ill? I mean, why is it that everyone is expected to obey police commands? How do we know that the person is coherent to begin with?
I see an interesting statement. Someone saying that to tell black men that they have to learn how to behave with dealing with the authorities is like telling women not to wear scantily clad dresses or outfits and not get raped. You understand what I'm saying? It's up to the authorities are in charge. They are responsible for being clear, concise, and able to for the individuals to comprehend. Even if they were to arrest a mentally ill individual, a judge could still rule that they're not capable of defending themselves and send them out and rule the case unworthy to prosecute or continue. So at certain instances where the authorities are looked towards as the people in charge, which is 99.9% of the time, they have to learn and be trained on how to deal with these individuals. And number one training that has to go on, in my opinion, is you don't fire your weapon into someone's back, period.
They are already trained in that, and they'll do it anyway, because the minute they get emotional about something, that gun comes out. They are wearing 10 pounds of weaponry on their belt, and that is still the first thing they reach for. Now, in Jacob's case, they had tased him. Apparently didn't work. It doesn't always. He yanked out the barbs and was still strolling. So I can't say what else would have been done, but Officer Nakia Jones, the woman who spoke out and was, summarily fired afterwards after being on sick leave, pointed out on her Instagram stories that there was a lot of bad training and bad moves made by the police on their part. How did one guy get in front of both y'all? He managed to beat up both y'all and get away, and two of you were just chasing him around the car. So she pointed out there's mistakes made on their part too.
They should walk up with their batons out, and as soon as something goes down that they're not feeling, immediately, wow, right across the forehead with the baton.
So David wants us to go back to 1970s New York, and that's interesting.
Rodney King beaten. You beat him. Now you beat him. But they walk away.
Yeah, so all tweets, letters, and concerns should be sent to @DavidSimonism.
Listen, the riots in LA happened because they felt that Rodney King was excessively beaten. No one didn't think that Rodney King didn't deserve a beating. I mean, he was doing 95 in the 55 area. So he was deserving of a whooping, of an ass whooping, and they gave it to him. And I'm telling you, this man here, once he started making moves that they didn't think he was supposed to make moves, they were supposed to whoop his ass with the baton and send him home. That's the way policing goes. Now there's no policing, this millennium policing where they shoot the guy. I don't get this policing. I like the policing. You whoop a guy's ass. Hey, I got my ass whooped by a cop, and they sent me home after a night in jail. Okay? They say you go home now. You learned your lesson? Yes, I learned my lesson.
I'm sure Abner Louima would agree with you.
Hold on. Again, and let me tell you a secret. I live in that neighborhood, sweetheart. That precinct is the precinct that whooped my ass. In fact, Abner Louima's incident happened 6 days after mine's occurred. You want to talk? We can talk. So now, this was a time where I was in that bathroom that occurred to Abner Louima, young lady. I had to strip in that bathroom 6 days prior. Okay, so I know what it is to get your ass whooped and sent home. Or unfortunately, it got a little more vicious. I guess they figured they had to be a little more angry with Abner Louima because I guess I wasn't a good enough message to the rest of the people. You don't challenge that precinct.
Yeah, but so I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying there, Dave. But got a little bit of mic popping here.
Abner Louima's still alive. That's what we got to get to. We got to get to the point where the victims survive these things. And Mr. Blake is alive. Hopefully he'll be able to walk again. That would be even more fantastic. I don't know how much of the paralyzed is for purposes of they want justice for what the police have done, or how much of it was that the lawsuit that's pending. I don't know. Hopefully he'd be able to walk again. And next time they'll baton him instead of shooting him. We got to go back to the batons. They're going to whoop our ass. They're going to do what they feel they have to do. The only thing we want to do is that the victims survive. That's where we are now.
Yeah, Dave. I'll have whatever you had tonight, man.
According to John Harp, I'm drinking some slave tea tonight. I don't know. A slave, they didn't want to kill it because it was a good worker. You understand? They seen value in a slave, so they would whoop the slave's ass. Once they lost value in the slave, they hung him from a tree and he became a strange fruit. We don't want to be viewed as unvaluable where they kill us in the street. We want to be viewed valuable where they only whoop our ass and they send us home. That's where I'm at.
I'm not sure what you want me to say to that.
No one's here to agree with me. I'm not. If you guys agree with me, then I'll be out of business. You understand? I'm here to tell you the way it's supposed to be, how people should think about things, not how it's how the proper 100% great way life's supposed to be. I'm not here to give you rainbows in a promised land. I'm here to tell you how it is. You want to make it home? You take an ass whooping, you go home. We got to convince them, whoop ass, send them home. Don't shoot and kill. Diva, I understand. I look a little bizarre. It's like you can't believe that I'm saying these things. I come across with some sort of intelligence, and then yet I say things that seem so radical and disrespectful. But it is the truth. There's value in the individual when they only whoop them and not kill them. It goes back to the slave days. Thank you, Architect Seven. I have to acknowledge you because you're the only one that recognizes that I'm not being facetious, but I'm actually telling you the actual truth. And you know what, Mr. Harp, I understand that. Wow, we actually got the boss of bosses here, Mr. Bolo Gomez. Shout out to Mr. Bolo Gomez. Feed the culture, not the vultures. And John Harp, to explain to you the situation is, it's easy to be devalued in a beating than it is to be devalued in a homicide or a justified shooting, because most people are calling it justified because he had a knife. The captain of the precinct of that town, they seen it as justified. And when they are saying that things like that, shooting an individual in the back, is justified, then that means we have no chance of winning with the gun violence against us. We have to at least tell them, you know what, we're not looking to be beat or shot. We're willing to take the beating. We vote for the beating. It's two choices: beating or shot.
Let me ask you this, Dave. I mean, what about the children? I mean, how best do we prepare our children here? There seems to be this natural elimination of men in general. I mean, what is the proper protocol? I mean,
okay. Back in the days, we were told that you don't fight back. You don't. You pretty much adhere to the orders of the police officer, and hopefully you go home alive. That's the only thing you can tell them. Hopefully you go home alive, because Castillo was saying that he was what is his name? Diva? Philando
Castillo.
Philando was adhering to the officer's commands. He was trying to communicate with the officer. Officer wasn't hearing. He reached supposedly for to notify him about the firearm. Bam, bam, bam. He shot. Okay, so now the 12-year-old's got a toy gun. Bam, bam, bam. He shot. The gentleman was trying to get in his car. Bam, bam, bam. He shot. So you can adhere to all of these commands or whatever have you. Try to go home without being in any contact with the authorities, and it still happens. So the best thing you could do is tell them, like the gentleman we had on Night Train 357, where he said you shouldn't be outside. That's what you have to tell a child. Don't be outside. That's the best advice you can give them. Diva, you have any better advice to give?
No.
Yes, John Harp. I'm saying when it comes to the only two choices you have is a beating or a bullet, I'll take the beating any day.
Man, you know what I'm saying? That's not good advice on a day like today, Dave. You know, my indifference.
Yeah. Hey, listen. When the cop walks up, they might as well say, you got two choices. You can get a bullet or a beating. Which one you take? I'm telling you, take the beating. When they walk up, say, I'll take the beating immediately.
But yeah, I mean, there's some truth there, right? I mean, I heard one of the NBA players say the same thing about their son. I think it was Karan Butler or someone. You know, they say they pray every night. You know, they rather that they son take the beating and take the bruising, and they can handle the lawsuit later.
No lawsuits. What are you wasting the city's money for? Listen, if they roll up on you, you're not drinking and driving, because if you're drinking and driving, that's an arrest, immediate arrest. I'm talking about if there's just you're late at night, you're hanging out with your lady friend, you're coming from the movies, and you make a wrong turn in the wrong neighborhood, and they pull you over. You tell them, when you roll down the window, here's my license. I'll take the beat and let the girl go. Okay, I'll step out. You get your licks off, and you send me on my way. How about it? I'm sure they'll take that. They don't want to pop you. The police don't want to shoot you, but they will. And they don't have a problem with doing so. So you tell them immediately, look, I'll take the beating. I did something wrong. I turned down this wrong street. I did something that made you want to stop me. Give me the beating. Let me go home. I've taken the beating. I got scars from the beating. It's not bad after a couple of days.
Yeah, Dave. I mean, that's one way of looking at it, and I'm sure there is a percentage of you that are like that, and you guys are on the other end of the bell curve. I happen to be the one probably in the middle of the bell curve, and I have a different approach to that. I don't think it should ever come to that. I think treat me like you would treat the others.
Why do you accept those that are the choices? Why do you accept that those are the choices?
Exactly. I mean, that's my point. And I think John's speaking from the larger part of the bell curve as well.
So let's think about it. Jim Crow laws existed until they decided no longer to abide by the Jim Crow laws, and they just started to shoot us. You understand? They were beating us in the 60s. They were beating us in the 70s. They were beating us in the 80s. They were beating us in the 90s. It was only until the 2000s that they decided, if Rodney King incident happened in 2000, he would have been shot. He wouldn't have been beaten. He would have been shot. This is what I'm trying to tell you. They have elevated. They have morphed into just shooting and saying, fuck all this court cases. Fuck all this. You people going, the news and the media, the cameras, all that. We shoot them, put them in the ground. That's that. That's the mentality they have now. We have to get them to revert back to whooping our ass and send us home alive. How do we do that? That's the question. How do we get them to just whoop our ass and send us home? Because they're going to do something. They haven't stopped doing it since we got here. So they're going to do something. We just got to make sure that they know our choices. And our choices is, I'll take a beating. Please don't shoot me. I'll take a fat lip. I'll take a black eye. Not on the head. Send me home. Send me to a hospital. What have you. Then send me home. I don't want to go to jail. Because this is what these people are telling me, that they're resisting arrest. They're trying to avoid going to jail. Well, I don't want to go to jail, so I take the ass whooping. Except the driving intoxicated, they're gonna take you to jail. But if it's just something your light's not working, or whatever minor little detail that occurs to make them, you made a U-turn in the wrong section, or you made a right turn where you couldn't. Okay, I'll take the beating. I was wrong. Whoop my ass. Don't shoot. Don't shoot. The game is lost if the win is getting a beating. No, the game is lost when you go into the ground 6 feet. You don't understand, Mr. Harp. We're dying out here. We are dying out here, and the only way we can stop it is if they get their pound of flesh. You understand? We give them their pound of flesh and we go home. So you have no right. Yes, we have the right to riot, loot, and protest. That's the only rights we have. We don't have any rights to protect us, unfortunately. We're marching on Washington. We're marching in the streets of New York, the streets of Seattle, the streets of Portland. And all this marching has gotten us nowhere except calluses on our feet. We have to protect ourselves the best way we can. And if a beating is one way, then that's the way. I'm telling you, that's the way I would choose. You guys, what you want to do, I'm going to do what I'm going to do. Like I said,
I couldn't go out that way, Dave. I just don't know that's an option. That's absolutely not an option. Not for me, and not for my little one.
I understand. You have to. Hey, listen. That's who you have to protect. That's who you have to protect.
Absolutely.
I'm making home to them. And
that's what it's all about.
If the only way you could do it is that they haul you out the car, they give you some baton, they put you back in the car, you wipe off your blood and you go home. So no more beatings. You got to get the beatings. You either get a beating or you get shot. Which one? Those are the two.
No, and that's actually an insult, Dave, because I think there's a lot of officers out here who go around with that same mentality. I mean, after all, are you a former cop, Dave? It sounds like a police attitude to have.
Right. It's not just like I said on my show, New York police, LA police, they've been through it. They know it. It's the Midwest, the middle of the country. They are quick to pop you. It's been there is where they shooting the people, introducing the ass kicking and beatings to them. Hey, look, you don't have to shoot them. You can whoop their ass. There's got to be a better way.
I agree with Gary there. Like Gary said, there's got to be a better way. That shouldn't even be an option. And she agrees here. My brother agrees as well. That's
Okay.
not
If you find it, let me know. I'm sorry, Dave. You need a change of scenery. I just told you that it's not happening here in New York. We had an incident with Eric Gardner. We had the incident with I'm talking within 2000s. There's not really been serious incidents in the 2000s with African American in the authorities. We had the situation with Eric Gardner, where his death came from a choking, but we haven't had no shootings. I mean, even that wasn't a shooting. That wasn't a shooting. New York police know how to do it. They know how to whoop your ass and send you home. Well, unfortunately, Eric Gardner gets sent home. That's tragedy that New York is still working past. I know everybody's thinking, "Oh, I must be insane. I must be insane," or I'm some sort of like Mr. Harp say, I'm
no.
slick.
I get it. I mean, those are called Trump supporters, and they all believe like that. And that viewpoint can be somewhat valid to half the country.
Yusef Hawkins wasn't an incident with the authorities. That was a gang violence. That was these individuals gathering up together. And
Bensonhurst, right? Yusef? That goes back to Bensonhurst.
Yes, and it wasn't in the 2000s. It was in the 80s. So I'm trying to bring you guys to understand that before they were shooting us, they were whooping our ass. Period. It went down. It happened. This is exactly. I mean, the Rodney King incident. If it wasn't caught on tape from some homeowner with their home camera, it's not like everybody had a cell phone camera like they do today. You understand? Back in the 92 when that occurred, it was fortunate that they had a camera and they was able to record the incident. Other than that, we wouldn't have known about the ass kickings because nobody believed when the people said, "Oh, I got my ass kicked." Well, what you did wrong? It's the same thing now. When the person gets shot, they say, "What did you do wrong?" So if it's always going to be what we did wrong, take the beating and not the shooting.
David.
Yes, Diva, please. You have something to say? And not multiple times. I didn't get beat multiple times. I took one ass kicking and I learned my lesson from the police. I learned my. Yes, please.
You are really demoralizing. And I'm going to tell you why. Because just because you didn't hear about it or see it doesn't mean it wasn't happening. In 67, 68, 69. No, you've been rambling for 25 minutes. Sit down, take a breath. So all that time that you thought the cops were just beating people, there were bodies being thrown off buildings and dumped in dumpsters and being shot in alleyways. There were women being raped, and there were men being beaten to death. There are never just two choices. They can always invent new cruelties. So no, when they say that they will no longer take those two choices, I absolutely believe them and applaud that idea, because I hate to be hokey here, but since we were talking about Black Panther earlier, I would like to point out that Killmonger, who was considered the antagonist of the story, said he would rather drown than be kept in shackles. So these shackles that you are calling beatings are what people are trying to toss off. And the death is what they'd rather have. Because according to your words, that would be the ultimate achievement. Let me be a martyr to the cause of no longer having to take either. We are better than to have to put up with either of those things. And that is what people are fighting for. And that is what they are callousing their feet marching for. And that is what they are shouting about and organizing voting drives and signing those petitions. When you are in your lane, we're all going the same direction. So when Night Train pointed out that he couldn't protest, didn't want to, but he was going to go ahead and put himself out there and put a song out there, that was his part. He is trying to do a part of the work that is still going to be ongoing. Yes, it has been ongoing. But I will give a good goddamn if I tell myself that I will take being beat and go about my merry way. Now, can we please get on with the rest of this show?
And on that note, I will say this to you guys out there. If I was misinterpreted or misunderstood in anything that I say, I can be more clear. Just join me on the David Simon Show Wednesday night from 9 to 11. I don't know if I would still have a show after this, but yes, I'll be willing to take questions and explain myself more clearer.
Yeah, Larry Elder, go ahead and clarify everything you just said tonight.
I don't think that I'm being heard here. I think I'm being ridiculed because I speak my mind, and I don't need that in my life. You understand?
Hey, somebody had an opposing viewpoint and expressed it. If you take it as ridicule, that's on you.
No, you were misquoting me there. You think that I haven't noticed the beatings that occurred, or
you said what you said. Stand on it. Don't move the goalpost now. You said what you said. If we need to play it back, we can.
Occurred since 1865. I know what it is. Yeah, my family's from the South. You understand what I'm saying?
You said what you said, Dave. I didn't have to misquote you.
My father came to this state of New York barefooted.
We're not talking about your father. We're talking about what you just said.
No, I'm just telling you that I know what it is. I know what the law is.
You could have fooled us.
How the law treats black individuals, and for centuries, well, decades, we were beaten. We weren't getting shot as rapid as we are now. It wasn't as prevalent as it is now. And I don't care if you say that.
It's not about prevalency.
It's not
like it's increased, Dave. There's just more cameras. It's always been happening.
Whatever you want to call it, I'm saying is a degree from the beating to the shootings. And I'd rather have the degree of beatings than the degrees of shooting. That's all.
Then you do that. The rest of us will do the heavy lifting.
Yeah, okay. Hey, by all means.
You made your choice. No, you made your choice. Stand 10 toes down on it. You just said what you said and you meant it. Stand on it.
You let me know when it changes, okay? For 200 years it's been going on. You let me know.
We don't have to let you know because you just said what your choice is. So you stick with your choice and we'll keep going because the way is forward.
My choice keeps people alive.
Your choice keeps people in pain.
It keeps them alive. They're going to be in pain. You acting like this is going to change. You act like you're going to change the world. Or a march is going to make people say, no, I'm not going to shoot that dirty nigga. You out your goddamn mind. But that's okay. I apologize if I seem discrediting what your beliefs is or what those millions of people that's marched for all these decades have done. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm telling you.
If you don't want to do it, don't.
Beating, it is only a beating and a shot that's coming.
Then you take it, Dave. Then you take it.
I'm here for it. I was born for it. I'm black.
And don't speak on anybody else who decides not to.
Hey, I didn't say anything. Hey, listen, I can only advise you by my choices, by my
That was terrible advice, by the way.
Say again?
That was terrible advice.
According to you, I think I might have saved some lives out there.
What kind of life is that to live?
It's one to live. Now, when you say the ultimate
kind, David? What kind?
Achievement.
Answer the question. What kind of life is that to live?
When you pass with some dignity, to die without.
Where's the dignity? Where's the dignity in going home beat, Dave?
I'm talking about the ultimate achievement now. I'm not talking
and I'm talking about what I said 2 seconds ago that you want to gloss over. Where's the dignity in that kind of life?
The dignity is to be able to live. Go home to
your family. What kind of life? What kind? Describe what kind of life that is. I
don't know what goof troop means, G. But bottom line is this is the way it is now. You can
because when they got tired of being beat in the 60s, that's when they started marching, and that's when they started fighting back, and that's when they started organizing.
They got tired of being beaten, so now they're getting shot. You think that's better? That's what you're saying. That's better.
I think it's better to continue to see the progress that we're trying to make instead of laying down.
You're saying being
So
shot.
if you don't see it as progress, then that's on you. But don't try to look at the rest of us like we're stupid for holding out that continuous hope.
That's what you're saying.
So you save it for your show and tell everybody that wants to tune in for that to go ahead and keep getting beat. At least you're alive.
Well, I don't understand what you're saying now, Bolo Gomez.
What I just said. You just said keep getting beat. At least you're alive.
Well, what the hell is we marching for? Because the person died.
Okay,
right?
then don't worry about it, Dave. Don't worry about it. Since you don't get it, don't worry about it.
Because people died, right? That's why we marching. People getting shot.
So you thought they deserved it,
right? Who said they? I said they deserved it.
Yep.
That's what I said. When did I say that? Quote me.
Because you said he shouldn't have been out there. Why was he fighting against the police? He had warrants anyway. If they decided to shoot him, oh well, he should have got out the car and asked them to beat him. I'll make sure that Jacob Blake's father takes solace in that idea.
So when you speak and you don't make sense, that means I should shut up?
When I'm finishing a thought, listen to understand instead of reply.
You can't. Your thought is wrong when you're quoting me. When you're misquoting me, dear. I said when they
you said he deserved to get shot.
Whatever little infraction, I never said he deserved to get shot. That you can never find me saying that. I'm saying that it's going to happen, that those are the two choices most likely that's going to occur. Either you get shot or you take a beating. That's what's been going on. Now, when I said you get pulled over, I didn't say nobody deserves it. I said it can happen.
So take it.
What else are you going to do? You going to fight back?
Tap in, Bolo. Tap in. Your call is in the link.
Is that what you're going to do?
I can't believe we tried to start out talking about Nas and you took this completely off the rails. How did you manage to do that?
Say what?
I'm not repeating myself.
Architect 7. Thank you. I'm glad somebody's listening to me. I'm glad someone is listening. Everybody think, I don't know what you think. I'm not even going to try to put words in your mouth because that's not who I am. I'm just putting words in my mouth and I know what I said and I stipulate and I stand by it. I'm telling you that you have two choices. They were whooping our ass. Now they shooting our ass. Which one would you take? Bottom line, it's 12:47, 8/29/2020, this Saturday morning. God bless you. HipHopCitizen Live, Friday Night Live. It's going down right now. And I appreciate everybody in the comment section. I know that I'm not giving a popular opinion, but I'm telling you what the history has said to me, that when they kill you, that means they see no value in your life. But when they whip you, they see value. They still think they can get something out of you. And all I'm saying is to remain valuable and not disvalued. Devalued. So Nas and Jay-Z continues to release music on the same day. I believe that is the next article. Nas gave an explanation. Does anybody know the explanation Nas gave for that? Nobody knows.
Go ahead, read it, Dave.
Sorry, Dave. My notebook here. I'm still scrambling.
Release of Pharrell and Jay-Z's entrepreneur single coincided with the release of Nas' 13th studio album, King's Disease, causing a stir on Twitter. In fact, following their big 2001 lyrical clash that spawned the diss track Takeover and Ether, there have been several coinciding release dates between the hip-hop legends. During Nas' interview with The Breakfast Club on Tuesday, August 25th, Charlemagne the God inquired about the extent of Jay-Z's motives, but the Queen's native dismissed it as the cosmos aligning. I think maybe there's an energy that we both have where we feel like we work around the same time. Hold on, I'm sorry, commercials. Move the article. Okay, maybe the same time, and Nas said before DJ MD interrupted him with the facts. On December 18, 21, Nas released fifth studio album, Stillmatic, while Jay-Z unleashed his MTV Unplugged album with The Roots. On November 30th, 2004, Nas dropped his 7th studio album, Street's Disciple, as Jay-Z collaborated with Linkin Park for the Grammy Award-winning Collision Course album. On November 6, 2007, Nas released his greatest hits amid the rollout of Jay-Z's 10th studio album, American Gangster. So is Jay-Z picking on Nas, or is, like Nas said, is just the cosmic alignment of things? You know what, Mr. Shasinski, my life may be of that value, and I agree, I appreciate you thinking that I do have value, but there are some dark nights where I'm pulled over where I might not be deemed valuable. And I'm saying I hope that they see the value in me to beat me and not shoot and kill me. That's all. Unfortunately, that's the life that I have to live. Oh, I stay home. I don't go out. They can't get me here. You want me to live a different life? Create some new laws, or create something that where they don't have any firearms to shoot me or any other unsuspecting black individual. Because that's what we hear talking about, the ones that are victimized, not the ones that are criminals, right? So we're trying to save the good ones, the accountant, the doctor, the engineer. We're trying to save those individuals, the McDonald's worker, the Burger King worker. We're trying to save those individuals. We're not trying to save the crack dealer. Don't misunderstand me. Dave, I appreciate you being honest. Thank you, Mr. Hart. This world, as it relates to police interaction, has failed many horribly. I agree. And that is what I'm most upset about. And that you should be. Like England, correct. In England, there is no firearms. That's just the way they decided to dispense the law in that country. Now, when you talk defunding the police, people get uproar. They think it's absurd. I hear people say it's absurd to defund the police. But if you have looked at the front, I wish I had the numbers in front of me about how much money goes into law enforcement in New York alone. New York alone receives almost $7 million or $700 million, and it's all talking about still counterterrorism. Counterterrorism. We're spending so much money on counterterrorism, and the only ones that's being apprehended or accosted in anti-terrorism is the African American man. They are considered the terrorists. Must be. The facts are the facts. You look it up. Those dogs, the water hoses, the beatings, people went home. They didn't encourage a 17-year-old to walk around with an AR-15 to spray people at a rally or a protest. You know why he's shooting? He's shooting because everyone else is shooting. The police is shooting, so he's shooting. People learn by watching. The Yusuf Hawkins you bring up, you know why they chased him down with bats? Because that's what they knew. They knew beatings. They knew batons. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's been enough of me. Thank you.
And anything that happened on a live show and you're watching at HipHopCitizen live stream, Diva, what do you think of that?
What am I supposed to think of that?
Well, I think Dave's point is valid, right? I mean, there are a lot of people who believe like Dave. I mean, things could be worse, is what I'm hearing him say, pretty much. You know, instead of acting it out, because there are no second chances in death.
I'll let Dave have his choice.
But yeah. Well, Diva, I'm gonna give a big shout out to all my friends and do some more mourning for the King of Wakanda. And just want to thank all of our fans for supporting. And of course, you can always find us, at least find me, at Don Wandy Mac on the IG and all wherever Hip Hop Citizen is. How about you? What say you?
On Instagram at It's Diva Views, on Facebook Diva Views Citizen. We have a Sunday special report coming up September 13th. Funnily enough, talking about guns. It should be fabulous.
And it will indeed. Always an interesting conversation when you're talking about guns.
I'm sure. Why couldn't you let that one dude get in? Like,
oh, Bolo, if you're still there, use the link, bro. We didn't see you make it to the green room. You know what I'm saying? There's a link in the header section if you're on Facebook, and look in the pin box in the comment section. Still a chance to call in as well. And it's all social media, by the way, whether you're on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, even got a Twitter going on, Periscope. You can always find us every Friday. David Simonism Show every Wednesday. Architect 7 always spins those underground gems whenever he feels like it on Facebook and now Twitch. And a big special shout out to DJ Rags as well. Been doing marvelous things out there.
We want to thank Night Train 357 for coming in and blessing us with his presence. That gave us a great interview, lots of humor. It was a great way to start the show. We want to thank Bree for being included in the interview in her own special way. Make sure you catch him and his podcast, Trolling for Friends, on YouTube. He has an Instagram and a website. He's got his vinyl that's out right now. If you're a vinyl collector, make sure that you get with him. You can always tip us on the app at Cash App, $ Hip Hop Citizen. We just want to say one more time, rest in peace to Chadwick Boseman. He lost his fight with stage 4 colon cancer. Wow. We want to say continue to rest in peace to Aaliyah Houghton, who lost her life this week. We've lost so much. We're going to gain much more back, and the fight continues with or without Allah.
That's right. And a special shout out to Dialect 718, brother. You know what I'm saying? Safe travels wherever you are. And get well, Architect 7. And welcome
folks,
back
tune in every Friday. Yeah, it was quite the welcome back.
And as always, the great welcome goodbye as well. So thanks for tuning in. This is the Hip Hop Citizens live stream show.